What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moneyline Media. We have a very special guest with us tonight, Paul Stingo of the Brooklyn Tides. This is our first episode of Brooklyn Tides Hot Stove. Glad you guys can be here. Paul, how you doing tonight?
All right, hanging in there, going through the winter, and it's pretty much it. COVID's been pretty rough, but other than that, same old stuff.
So for you, your next season is summer, right? Have they
Yeah.
given you guys any protocols that you have to follow, or is it still too early?
No, we haven't even dove into the logistics of next season yet. They're thinking about proposing a 30-game season, which is going to go from April/May to October, as opposed to we usually do a summer and fall as separate
Okay.
seasons. So they're not sure, and they're also thinking about putting down the turf in the field now. So
Gotcha.
there's a bunch of different things that are going to possibly be changed by for the spring. So we'll see what they have in store, and we usually do that around March. We usually have a meeting with the commissioner and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a large league you got go. Looking at the stats and everything, and we're gonna get to that right now. Going into this coming season and practicing and things, is there something that you guys are focusing on more than others going into the next? I know this is just you guys haven't even started training for the next season, but is there
Yeah.
something looking forward that you guys are thinking about? Oh, we need to improve this. This is our number one goal.
I guess like roster wise, I don't know if I recently told you actually when we've been speaking, we lost two of our players to injury. They both just had surgeries on their labrums. They were our starting right fielder / first baseman and second baseman, and two of our best hitters, Andrew Stella and Nate Rodriguez. So they're pretty big parts of our team, you know, on the field. And on top of that, they're both good leaders, in their own ways. So we kind of have to plug those holes. We could do it internally, but we may have to look for someone from the outside at this point. So these are two glaring holes. As far as preparation goes, we pretty much do it the same every year. We go in around February, March. We work out indoors or outdoors if the weather permits. And that's it. We pretty much get ready for the season. We have a few workouts. We try out a few new guys every year, and that's how we roll usually. But yeah.
Good stuff. You're prepared. You're a prepared guy. Obviously, looking at the social media aspect, you're a great team player from what
Yeah.
we've seen. They're very lucky to have you.
Thank you. Hope they feel the same.
Paul, with everything going on with COVID right now, how have you and your team been preparing for the upcoming season?
We actually had a scare dating back to last year. Now that I say it, guy on a team that we played actually got COVID in our semifinal game, and it caused like a rift between the team because there were people who were a little bit more precautious of COVID, and there were, it differs. So you're dealing with 25 different people who have different standpoints on, I really love to play baseball. Let's just go through with it. Or there are people like, I really love to play baseball, but maybe the risk isn't worth it. So we're dealing with everybody's, mindset. So it's very hard to balance this, but we're all hoping across the world, or at least in America, that this, kind of gets curbed by the time baseball season rolls around. So that's our best case scenario. And if it's not, we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do. I remember we were running practices even in March as the pandemic hit, and it was pretty rough because we were, as it is, we don't get a lot of guys showing up to our practices. If you, whenever you talk to Jerry, our manager, he'll make a joke about that. We can't get more than, enough guys to field the team to a practice at any given time. But we were having a hard time with attendance at practices, and we understood, we're not going to get mad if you're worried about COVID. You can't make it. Okay. Whatever. People have obligations in life, even if it's work or, a family function. We understand people have lives outside of baseball. So that's pretty much how we're going to go about it heading into the next year. So, yeah.
You bring up what you guys have gone through, and I know you guys recently went through, unfortunately, a loss on the team with your childhood friend, Christian Santos. How are you guys doing with that, and is it giving you a new motivation to continue to play?
Yeah, I feel like in my personal aspect of it, or the way I'm viewing it, I look at it like, take every moment you have, don't take it for granted. And especially on the baseball thing, the last game he ever played in, his last at bat ever, he had a home run. So, and it was his first ever as a Tide after all these years. And it was a no doubter. I mean, we literally, as soon as it hit the bat, we were like, oh, this is gone. Like, forget it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because back to that story, I don't want to drift away too much, but I remember the days following that. So we get our videos from the league because we have a camera behind home plate that the league kind of, tapes it and then sends it back to us. And he was haunting me for days. I'm so excited about this home run. Like, I've been waiting all this time. And he was one of those guys where if he got into a ball, it was gone. But he just, for some reason, never hit a home run after all these years. He was a great player, but anyway, he was bothering me for days. But back to the original question. We've had a pretty rough time dealing with it. Obviously, his family has been very supportive of us, and we've been very supportive of them, and vice versa. They've been doing a lot of memorials and things to keep his memory alive. And his father set up a scholarship fund in his name. It's through his college. It's called the Christian J. Santo Scholarship Fund. Through St. Thomas Aquinas College, where he played baseball and went to college, obviously. So they're doing stuff like that for him, and anything we could do to keep his memory alive, and we play in his honor, and we're hoping to get something commemorative put on our jerseys by the start of next year. We were going to do it in the fall, but the family was giving us wristbands, and we also had armbands made up to put on our forearms. So we figured that was enough at that point, and then by next year we'll do something of that sort. So yeah.
And we'll put a link in this YouTube video too for the scholarship.
Of course, I'll get you the information. Yeah,
that'd be great. We'd love that. And then again, very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
New motivation though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So after that loss, how amongst the team, how well did you guys come together after that and carry yourselves through that season?
So one thing about the Tides, and I guess you're going to come to realize this as you start interviewing and getting more involved in the team as time goes on, it's one of those things where I don't know any other team in my recent years, and I've been a part of a lot of baseball teams in my life, but once a guy joins a team, I mean, you could literally see within the first week, it becomes like a family. Like we're talking to the guy, and it's like these conversations are just flowing so naturally in the dugout or even over text message. A guy joins a team a few days later, I'm texting him. He's like, oh, you want to hang out? We have that camaraderie on our team that's really special. So when this happened, we already had that camaraderie, but it just took it to a whole nother level, and we kind of rallied around that. This fall, we actually ended up finishing in second place. We lost in the championship, I guess, as you guys have heard. No, I mean, we did have a great run all the way to for the remainder of the year. Even when we lost the championship game, we weren't like bitter over it. We knew we could have won it, but sports happen and come up a little bit short, and that's life. So yeah.
You bring up the loss in the championship. Is that kind of a revenge game for you guys going forward now versus it was the brothers Staten Island, right?
Yes, our brothers Staten Island. Yeah, they've been a thorn in our side for quite a while. They've been at the top of the heap for a while. They actually didn't win the championship in the summer for the first time since joining the league. They lost to Butchie's Heat, who also has a pretty star-studded team. But between us and brothers, we played them in the championship last summer, so 2019. We kind of had we kind of came to near blows in that championship. Got pretty up, hot and heavy. But since then, we've kind of squashed our beef, and we realized we're playing in a men's league. As competitive as it is, we are playing in a men's league. So we kind of wanted to settle our differences and. Mm-hmm. Our matchups in recent time have been more level in, our beef, and on top of that, the scoreboard, because there was a time where they were coming into games and blowing us out 10-0 and, mercy ruling us. And they've kind of come down to earth a little bit, and we've kind of raised our game up a little bit. So we look forward to the competition with them, but at the same time, there's no, bad blood on our end, or I'm pretty sure on their end as well.
Do you have any other games marked on your calendar? Like, oh, this game is something, not a revenge game, but hey, this is a game that I really want to stick it to them?
Um, I mean, I hate to say this on an interview, but we do have some sort of bad blood towards Butchie's Heat.
Okay.
Um, yeah, they're a little bit malicious. So, I mean, we don't hate them, but we'd like to beat them. Um,
Healthy
Another,
competition.
yeah. I mean, it's a little bit malicious both ways. But other than that, the other team that I want to point out is the Wolfpack. We actually have like a great relationship with their team, and we look forward to playing them every single time because I would say like talent-wise on roster, we're about the same. But every time we play them, something else happens, and it's a very good competition every time. I've actually become pretty close with their manager, Sal Villani. He's a great guy, and their whole team is filled with great people. Um, and they're just, a team that we actually enjoy playing, whether we win or lose. So they're a cool bunch of guys.
Great. It's always great to have that friendly competition too. Gives you.
Yeah.
Paul, so have you guys added any players to this new roster coming into this season from last year's, or are you going with the same crew?
Well, we've been in talks with people at this point. We get a lot of guys messaging us throughout the year, and how our league works is once you hit a certain date, you can't add people.
Gotcha.
So when we got to that point, anybody who messages us or gets into our, frame of mind of like, okay, maybe we want this guy, we can't pick them up. So we kind of hold them over till next year.
Okay.
We've been talking to a guy who plays for a guy on our team's other team, my friend and teammate Jonathan Fonseca. It's a guy who plays on his team, the Vipers. He's an outfielder. And with the loss of Nate Rodriguez due to the surgery, it looks like he's going to be plugging up that hole. We haven't 100% gotten him down, and he's agreed to us verbally, but actually getting him there to show up is a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one person that we've had our eye on, and there's a bunch of other people who we've been in talks with over the past, I don't know, 2 months, since the season ended and then on to the winter, but nobody's really set in stone yet. So we are envisioning turning over about 6 to 7 guys on our roster between now and opening day. That's what I would say. There's either going to be a few guys either not playing with us anymore or out because of injury, and then we're going to replace them with about 6 guys. So that's how we're looking right now. Our rosters are maxed at 26 guys, including myself and the manager, Jerry Ryan. So, we have a little bit of wiggle room at the tail end of the roster, so we can improve on that aspect.
Now you said that you have a couple guys going out due to injury. You being one of the team leaders and having some injury experience yourself with your right labrum and your right knee in the ACL, what do you do to kind of keep them motivated to come back, to try to get through their injuries, keep them working, try to stay as a leader with them?
I've reached out to both of them actually pretty religiously over the past few weeks because their surgeries have been in the past few weeks. Mm-hmm. And I've actually had both of the surgeries that they've had, the labrum. So I've been messaging them like, if there's anything you need, call me. Like, even if it's mental support, just like, it gets pretty tough sometimes just sitting home alone and, what the hell do I do? And you can't really do much. So I've literally reached out to the both of them. I said, if there's anything you need, as far as the rehab goes or anything like that. And they both know that once the season comes around, even if they're not going to be able to play, they're always welcome in the dugout. Andrew Stella is actually a baseball coach. He coaches in a high school in the city. And I think he even does basketball too. He does a lot of stuff, Andrew Stella. He's a great guy. He does that. So I even said, you're not going to be able to play, come coach us, at this point, because, you're not going to be doing much else. So he's a great guy to have on the bench. He's a great baseball mind. He's somebody you could pick his brain for hours. So yeah, him in specific. And then Nate is out in California. He's actually from California, moved here a few years ago, went to college in Kingsborough, and he moved back out there to get the surgery and stay home with his family for the holidays. And I think he's going to be staying for quite a while longer. So we're not sure when we're expecting him back to even be present in the dugout, let alone be on the field. But, I've built a relationship with Nate where we're family. So it doesn't matter where he is, and I'll reach out to him whenever. And, we're just hoping that we get them back at some point and they're all ready to go.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that and Robbie is one of them, right? And I know you and Robbie.
Yeah, me and
Robbie,
Robbie. Yeah, me and Robbie. We went to. So we ended up going. Looking back in time, we went to preschool together, and
wow.
then we played t-ball against each other for a few years, 1 or 2 years, I guess t-ball lasted, and then we ended up meeting up again in middle school. We ended up going to middle school together at Leif Erikson and Diker, and then we split apart. We went to Xavier and Zavarian respectively, and then he went to Sacred Heart College. I went to CSI, and then he ended up back on the Tides. He was a top prospect coming out of college, and he's one of my best friends, and he knew a lot of guys on the team. And I was saying, Robbie, please come. We need your help on this team. We were playing in Bay 8 at the time, and he was like, all right, I'll come down. I'll throw a few innings, and looking at it now, he's been one of the mainstays of our team for 7 years now, going on 8. So he's a great guy to have on the team. He's a two-way player too. He's a pitcher and a hitter. So it's great to have him. We've actually been using him more as a hitter at this point, an offensive player.
He led the league in RBI. Sorry,
Batting average.
batting average. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So yeah, he led the league in batting average in the fall.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, in the fall season, he led the league in batting average. Pretty sure he led the league in hits as well. But he had a great offensive year. He hit a home run, and so we had a memorial game for Christian Santo. In the first inning of that game, he hit a home run in the first inning, and it was kind of one of those, you ever seen the D. Gordon home run after Jose Fernandez? It was kind of one of those
Yes.
very uplifting, and
Right.
there was a lot of people at the game, family and friends of my friend Christian Santo. So it was just one of those moments where everybody it was a surreal feeling. So he had a great year. It was built on that home run, and everything rolled from there. So yeah, he had a great year overall. He even pitched in the championship game through 5 scoreless innings. So he had a hell of a fall, at least, to say that.
That's all you could ask for too. So I noticed from the stats for the summer and even for the uh fall, you guys are great hitters and probably have had the most home runs out of any team. I
Yeah.
know for sure in the summer. But you guys also led the league in strikeouts. Is that something that you guys are planning on working on going forward? Maybe being more patient with the ball, or
Yeah, so it's funny because I'm the one who puts the stats in at the end of the games. And I check the stats probably more frequently than the average person does because I'm a stat geek. My grandfather was a big statistician. He loved it. So I kind of was raised up on that. I actually noticed the strikeouts, and I don't know exactly. We don't really have a hitting coach, and we don't really have like a game plan going in other than hitting the ball and getting on base. I mean, obviously there's situational hitting at times that you want to implement, but that is something I've noticed over time. I don't really know how we're going to combat that as a team. I don't know if we're ever going to sit down and have a meeting at a practice and say, okay, let's work on shortening up with 2 strikes. Let's work on punching the ball the other way. I guess with, even in the MLB, when you look at the teams that hit the most home runs usually strike out the most because you're a feast or famine kind of lineup.
Yep.
But I don't even really look at us as a power hitting team when you look at, our other stats, because our team average is pretty high. We get on base a nice amount. So it's just one of those weird enigmas that I see in the stats where it's like, yeah, we're batting 290 as a team. We have the most home runs and then we strike out the most. So we kind of have, a give and take with every different stat category. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but it's a good thing you pointed that out because that's something very interesting.
so we're gonna play a game with you.
Okay.
It's something a little different than what I had brought up before. We're gonna do, yearbook superlatives. We're gonna do that for the Tides,
Okay.
and we're gonna ask anyone who comes on. We're gonna ask you this. So it's just fun, all good times. So we're gonna have to ask you first. I have to ask you this: most likely that you would let date your sister if you had to pick one of them.
Ooh. Can I have a second to think?
Yes, of course.
There's a lot of guys on the team. I'm trying to think. Damn. I would say one of the Stark brothers. They're
Okay.
new. They're new, so they're not that close to me. I would kind of want someone that I've known for a long time, but the Stark brothers seem like very classy guys. So from the short experience I have with them, yeah. I don't know which
Okay.
one. You need me to pick one, or could I just, do
Yeah,
it?
we'll leave it at two. We'll leave it at two. You can have two sisters.
Okay.
All right. Most likely to eat an entire bag of sunflower seeds.
Oh, I hate to say this, but I think myself. To be honest with you, yeah, I chew through sunflower seeds. If I wasn't talking to you guys right now, I'd probably be chewing on sunflower seeds.
Any
Yeah.
flavor or original?
I prefer original, but low sodium because I have acid reflux. That's a weird thing, but it's something I have to make note.
I feel that same pain, my friend.
Yeah. Yep.
Most likely to have to go to the bathroom in the middle of a game.
Jerry. Hands down. Yeah, Jerry.
We like that. We like that.
Yeah, Jerry.
It's funny.
Most likely to make a TikTok on the bench.
Who's your Juju Smith-Schuster? That's
JP, Jonathan Pinheiro. Or Nate. One of the two of them. But I will go with Jonathan Pinheiro because he's on the active roster right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Most likely to become president.
That's a tough one. I hate to say this, but I have to say Jerry again. He's got that leadership mentality.
He'd be taking bathroom breaks in the middle of Congress.
Yeah, in the
middle of.
Yeah.
All right. Most likely to hit a clutch home run and then pretend that nothing happened.
Robbie.
That was a quick one. You knew that one right away.
Well, Robbie bat flips walks. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but that's his trademark thing. He'll bat flip a walk. So, but yeah, he'll hit a home run and just he's very stoic, until he reaches home plate and then he gets a little crazy. But around the bases, he's like, as calm as anything.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Most likely to have groupies.
To have what?
Like groupies, like people that would follow him to watch every single game.
I feel like I keep saying the same people, so let me think of somebody different. I'm gonna go with Tony Rivera. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Most likely to complain about the cold in a fall game.
Nate, because he's from California.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. One last one from each of us for you. Most likely to win. Well, we already did dance. Hold on. Let me think about it. Most likely to argue with an umpire.
Jerry. Jerry's a terror for the umpires. Terror. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go the opposite way on this one. Most likely to suck up to an umpire.
I don't think there's any of us. We all hate the umpires. I'm trying to think of somebody I could possibly note out. No, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, to be honest.
Nobody.
Now I gotta change one.
Well, I got one. You want me to, James? I think I got one.
Yeah, John?
All right, go ahead, James. Go ahead, James.
Most likely to use chewing tobacco.
Most likely to use chewing tobacco. It used to be me. I want to say Jerry again, but a lot of guys on our team do chewing tobacco.
All right, most likely to spit it on home plate.
Most likely to spit it on home plate. JP. We'll go with JP. I don't know why I'm saying that, but JP would do something like that. I don't know.
You got a group of fighters and intense people. It sounds like an awesome group to be around. We can't wait to keep interviewing you guys and keep learning more about your team. You guys are great guys. I know you for very long, Paul, and you've always been stand-up, so there's not enough good things I can say about you, but we're so excited to be partnered with you guys, and this was a great first show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, and this is our Tides Hot Stove. We will be back hopefully next Wednesday and every Wednesday going forward. Very excited to be a part of this.
I think you're going to be seeing Jerry next week, so good luck with that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be the fun one.
Thank you all for tuning in, and happy holidays.
Happy
James?
holidays.
Hold on.
He does his little slogan.
Oh, okay.
Stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated.